you ready for an adventure way, way back in time? I'm your dragon guide, and I'm going to show you something super special from my family's history.
Hi there, that's me. I'm so excited because today I'm opening up my family photo album. It's full of my super ancient relatives. Yep, the dinosaurs.
So, what do you say? Want to take a peek? We'll flip through the pages together and I'll tell you some amazing secrets about my giant and, sometimes not so giant family members. It's going to be roaring fun.
Okay, first up, giants and tiny terrors. Now, when you think of a dinosaur, you probably imagine something huge, right? Well, you might be in for a little surprise. My relatives showed up a really long time ago. I mean, we're talking 240 million years. Wow, that's way before there were any castles, or knights, or even people.
So, everyone thinks my relatives were all gigantic, right? And yeah, for sure, some were as tall as buildings. But, get this, others were teeny tiny. Some were only about the size of a chicken. Can you even imagine a dinosaur you could almost pick up? And here's a little secret for you. The very first dinosaurs, they weren't the giants at all. Nope, they were actually the small, zippy ones. The huge, stompy relatives, well, they came along much later.
Ooh, now for our next chapter, picky eaters and pet rocks. Let's talk about what was on the menu for dinner. And trust me, it's not always what you'd think.
We hear a lot about the big, scary meat eaters, but what about the peaceful plant eaters? The ones who just wanted to munch on salads all day? What do you think they were eating? Well, first, of course, they'd find all kinds of tasty plants and leaves. But then, and this is the best part, some of them would swallow stones. I know, weird, right? But it wasn't a snack. The rocks would just tumble around in their tummies and help mash up all the tough plants. How clever is that?
All right, it is time for a dino makeover. Everything you thought you knew about how my relatives looked, you might need to think again. You know how we always picture dinosaurs as these slow, scaly reptiles just kind of laying around on rocks? Well, scientists now think lots of them were actually super active and energetic, zipping around and full of life.
And that's because they were probably warm-blooded. They made their own heat inside their bodies, just like we do. That means they didn't need to lie in the sun all day to warm up. They were ready for action, anytime.
And here is my favorite secret of all. Some of my relatives weren't even scaly. They had fluffy, fabulous feathers. Can you believe it? There was this giant one called Utyrannus, and he was a feathery cousin of the T-Rex.
And now, for the biggest reveal of all. Did you know that my dinosaur family isn't completely gone? Nope, you can still see them today, if you know where to look. So go on, take a guess. Who do you think they are? Who is walking and flying among us right now that's a direct link to my ancient family?
That's right, it's birds. Every little sparrow, every pigeon, every single eagle, they're all just tiny dinosaurs that survived and changed over time. My family learned how to fly. How cool is that?
And it makes perfect sense when you think about it. What do birds do? They lay eggs. And so did my dinosaur relatives. In fact, the biggest dinosaur eggs ever found were the size of a basketball. Whoa! And here's one last little amazing fact about their world. Way back then, a whole day was only 22 hours long. The Earth used to spin faster. That means they had 2 fewer hours for fun and games than we do today. So, the next time you see a bird chirping in a tree, just remember my family album. You're looking at a real living dinosaur. It kind of makes you see the world a little differently, doesn't it? Thanks for coming on my tour, everyone.